people always say, oh, I'm being real, I'm keeping it real, and it always follows up with some negative shit. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Your barber fucked up your hairline. I'm about to keep it a buck. You got something in your teeth. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That video you posted, that wasn't it, gang. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That party you threw last week, I ain't gonna lie, that girl to boy ratio, that shit was whack. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I saw you simping at that rave. You had that girl on your shoulders. That was lame, man. You was just trying to get some. People always say, I'm gonna keep it real when it's some negative shit. Why can't we say, I'm gonna keep it real and follow up with like, I'm gonna keep it 100%. You have great teeth. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Your hair is so thick at the roots. It looks so healthy. I love that. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? We can do that. All we gotta do is unlearn our belief system. You can project in a good way, you can project in a bad way. You always have a choice. And people who project in a bad way, that's okay to start with because nobody's perfect. But if you continue to project in a bad way, at that point it becomes a choice. Once it's a choice, you're suffering because you must love to suffer.
Eating to live, yeah, I'm living to eat. Catch me enjoying vegan recipes. Film for chlorophyll.
Greetings, it's your boy Gartatia. Today I want to talk about how projection is the one thing in your life that is causing all of your blessings and causing all of the good things in your life to take a back seat because of the way you're looking at yourself and is affecting the exterior world and the things that are manifesting in your reality. One thing that came to me is, once again, I'm thinking about nature because everything is literally in nature. We go high and low to be absorbed in technology, to find our solutions through our peers, to find our solutions through TikTok, to find our solutions through YouTube videos, when literally like you got a whole encyclopedia in nature. Just the animals, just the laws of physics, just looking at outside the natural world, the flora and the fauna can teach you so much. But they say the universe reveals its secrets to those who listen. And if you look at human nature and how we respond to animals, the history speaks volumes and really explains a lot of how projection can determine the potential and the ceilings that you often have that are limited by your beliefs. And this idea comes from, like, you know how you ever hear like a hyena laughing? We interpret that as, oh, the hyena's having fun. The hyena's like telling a joke, or the hyena is in a good mood, right? But we don't know what that means. Listen, all you potential zookeepers and future Animal Planet geeks, don't attack me. I'm pretty sure you all in the comments right now like, we about to end this man's whole career. That's not why hyenas laugh. I don't know why hyenas laugh. I think it's communication or something, but I'm pretty sure it means almost the opposite of actual laughing. It means they're like aroused or like upset. It's almost like barking. That's what I hear. So it actually means something different, but we think they're laughing. And then what you're gonna do, because you think they're laughing, you're gonna get in their face and they're gonna bite your head off, right? So that's how we look at something that has nothing to do with us, has a completely different definition, but we interpret it based off of our knowledge, based off of the database, based off of the sum of all of our experiences. That's the way we're going to receive that fact. Again, the facts don't matter. The only thing that matters is your belief system. Only thing that matters is the emotions that you derive from that fact. We look also in nature, we look at parrots. Parrots can talk and mimic humans. And a lot of times we think that the parrot knows what it's saying. The parrot doesn't know what it's saying. The parrot might say, hey, watch out, jackass. And then we get offended and we think that parrot actually hates us. And then we get mad at the parrot. But literally it's because the parrot only knows how to mimic the sound. It has no clue what that word means. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to take a meaning from what that parrot is saying and then ascribe a belief or attach a viewpoint based on that communication that we receive from that parrot. We look at elephants. I don't know if elephants actually cry, if that means sadness, so don't come for me. But we see tears come outside of animals' eyes sometimes. Sometimes we see elephants cry or rhinos cry. And we see, I don't know if crocodiles actually cry, but I know that's a saying. But we see tears, water come out of animals' eyes, and we think that they're crying, or we think that they broke their heart, or we think they're in pain. And listen, I'm not a biologist. This may or may not be true. However, I'm just saying we associate tears with pain or sorrow or suffering. So when we see an animal crying, even though that animal could be having the best day of its life, even though that animal could just be doing it could just be in heat. The animal could just be shedding its skin. The animal could be pregnant. Like, it can mean a multitude of different things. But because we're humans and all we know is our experiences, and we're so caught up in our world, which is why I always like to do, if you ever have done meditation with me, I always like to do a personality switch, or not a personality switch, but a character switch meditation. It's just getting outside of your consciousness swap. That's what I call that, a consciousness swap meditation. And that's where you practice experience what it's like to be a turtle, experience what it's like to be a rock. Like, it's a mind exercise. But I do that because it's so easy to look at everything in the external world and seek to explain it using the tools that you have. I believe the expression is called anthropomorphism. That's when, like, we see things in nature, we see animals doing things, and then we just prescribe that, oh, that animal must be sad, oh, that animal must be happy, oh, that animal must be this, or that animal looks like he's smiling, so he's in a good mood, when actually it has nothing to do with that, but that's just the way us humans can make sense of the world. Along those same lines, we use our spiritual, mental, physical, emotional foundation, which was built through our experiences, which was built through the programming, which is built through conditioning from our parents, conditioning from society, conditioning from the television, which was built through years and years of practice of doing something a certain way, years of saying certain things, years of being in this feedback loop of doing something and that behavior being reinforced, to the point where here we are at 26 and this is the way we see the world, right? And that can have a variety of effects. If the consciousness or the foundation that you've spent all of your life building has been, for the most part, built with blocks of positivity, built with blocks of glass half full, built with blocks of, people say, oh, I'm a realist, right? But people who claim that they're realist, but then when you hear them speak, everything they say is literally negative, that's not being a realist. You're just a pessimist. You're a real pessimist. People always say being a realist, and every time you hear a quote-unquote realist talk, it's literally the worst case scenario. Oh, but I'm being real. No, you're not being real. You're being a skeptic. You're being a doubter. Just call it for what it is. Say that I'm a professional doubter, but that doesn't sound as sexy, so they say I'm a realist. No, you could be a realist and the situation could be great. Why do people always say, oh, I'm being real, I'm keeping it real, and it always follows up with some negative shit? Why can't people say, oh, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, and it's some positive shit? Why is it always when it's real, when people say, oh, I'm about to keep it real with you, I'm about to keep it a buck? That's my favorite. I'm about to keep it a buck. And then they say oh, your barber fucked up your hairline. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You got something in your teeth, and people looking at you sideways. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That video you posted, that wasn't it, gang. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That party you threw last week, I ain't gonna lie, that girl to boy ratio, that shit was whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? I saw you simping at that rave. You had that girl on your shoulders. That was lame, man. You was just trying to get some. I'm gonna keep it real with you. People always say, I'm gonna keep it real when it's some negative shit, right? Why can't we say, I'm gonna keep it real and follow up with, like, I'm gonna keep it 100%. You have great teeth. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Your hair is so thick at the roots. It looks so healthy. I love that. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, man. I love the messages that you're telling these kids to self-help and pick themselves up from their own bootstraps. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I love the way you take care of your body, and it inspires me to become my best version. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? We can do that. All we gotta do is unlearn all the things that built our foundation of our belief system up until the point where we see the world as that negative point of view. And until you start working on rebuilding that foundation, you're gonna continue to project in a bad way. You can project in a good way, you can project in a bad way. You always have a choice. And people who project in a bad way, that's okay to start with because nobody's perfect. But if you continue to project in a bad way, at that point it becomes a choice. And once it's a choice, you're suffering because you must love to suffer. You must love suffering. You must love pain if you know that it's a choice and you still choose to not work on yourself, to rebuild that foundation from a positive, healthy root. Right? What do they say? We don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. That is literally like the biggest powerful gem droppage ever. And it's facts. The facts never matter. It's always how do we perceive those facts. Perfect example of this, how projection can just throw your whole shit off course. Say you forget to put deodorant on, but now you're already a mile from your house. You're like, oh shit, to go back would be too much now. But you know you forgot to put deodorant on, and you know you didn't take a shower that morning. So, and you smell your underarms, and it's like, it's not the worst, but you a little musty. But now it's too late. You already have a date. And then you go to the Starbucks wherever you all meet, and then now you're acting weird on a date. You go in for a hug, right? And then you kind of go in sideways, like for a side hug. Now you're acting weird. You're in your head. You're projecting. Even though you were a little musty, even though, you know, things was a little sour, but just the fact that you know that you didn't put deodorant on, that ruined your entire approach. Now you're going to be weird on the date. Now, like, when you all are holding hands, you might, like, not try to be close because you don't want her to see how musty you are. Right? Because you're thinking in her head, oh, she knows I'm musty. And now you're going to look for evidence that she knows that you're musty in everything she does. Now, when you see, like, you're sitting next to her, like, looking at the river on some romantic shit, and then you kind of scoot close to her, and then maybe she eventually, like, scoots away, you're going to automatically say, oh, she scooted away because I'm musty. When you hold hands with her, and then she lets go of your hand, you're going to say, oh, it's because I'm musty. When the date's over, and then he's like, all right, bye, and then she reaches in and only gives you a side hug, you're going to say, it's because I'm musty. But whole time, she was pulling back because the way you were acting. You were acting a certain way, greeting her with a side hug, kind of being distant, not trying to get too close. So actually, she did become distant because she was just mimicking your behavior. Because you were acting distant because in your head, you didn't want her to see that you were musty. That is the exact future that you manifested. And now she is treating you like that. And it may be because you were musty, but that's probably not the case. 90% of the time, you always get not what you want, you always get who you are. And at that moment, you were somebody who was being distant. That's the only thing she saw. So she treated you with that exact dose of distance. And then you're not going to look at that as, oh, I was being distant, so she did it. Your brain is going to process that because of projection as, oh, she was being distant because I was musty. So bam, that's a perfect example. Right? Say you have to go outside and you're wearing, to get groceries, you're wearing flip-flops or you're wearing like girl shoes because you didn't have time to put on your actual shoes. But then who rides by on a bike? Your crush rides by on the bike, and then she sees you wearing these high heels. Listen, I'm not judging people who wear high heels. I'm just saying, you wear high heels. This is your mama's high heels. That's not how you want it to be called, lackey. Right? And then she stops by, gets off her bike, and you're just like, this is the worst time. And she comes over to talk to you, and she sees you wearing these high heels, but because you're thinking in your head like, oh shit, I'm wearing high heels, you pull back. You act a little weird. The feng shui and the flow of the conversation's awkward. She's like calm and relaxed, and you're uptight and all this tension. And then like she can tell something's off. She can tell you're stressed. She can tell that you are rushing or like in a panic. Your energy's off. So guess what? You all say bye. She rides off on her bike. And then next time when you see her and you're trying to be all cool and like flirt, she might be weird to you. Because that was your chance. Instead of just knocking it off like, listen, I came down to get groceries, so I threw on any shoes I had and made a joke out of it and laugh it off. But no, what do people do? They try to like hide it, and then now it's in their subconscious, and now they're gonna project and then ruin the whole experience. And that is something hard. I know it's easy for me to stand on my soapbox, fully deodораted and wearing flip-flops. It's easy for me to say, right? But when you're in those situations, I've been there. I've been in those situations. Literally, I was at a rave and I forgot to put on deodorant. This actually happened to me. I forgot to put on deodorant, right, at a rave. That's literally like the worst place to not wear deodorant. Like, I'm already sweaty. Imagine not even like putting on deodorant, not even setting up, right? So what happened? I was unconscious on the ride there, like tripping, like, oh, people are not gonna talk to me because I'm musty. People are not gonna wanna, in the mosh pit, I'm gonna be like defouling the mosh pit. Like I've become that which I've sworn to destroy, right? So for that whole day, I was like a little weird. Confidence, my mojo was down a little bit. But at a certain point in the mosh pit, like I just got so sweaty and so messy. And then like afterwards I was chilling. And then I was talking to people. And then I would just always say like, yo, I know I look like a crackhead, but the energy is cool. Like, what's your name? I was just meeting people. Like, I know I'm sweaty. I completely forgot to put deodorant on, but like, let's get a hug. And then people were chill. Right? And it's a mosh pit anyway. Everybody's sweaty, everybody's musty. But we over amplify things based on the negative view we have about something, which may or may not be negative. But the problem is we're letting that negativity linger. We're letting that negativity define how we're going to go about the rest of our day. We're letting the present moment affect the future. We're staying stuck in a moment when that negativity was only there for that moment. And at any moment, we have a choice to choose to go beyond that negative state. But what happens? A lot of us stay there. A lot of us, and then what we do is, over time, if this keeps happening, over time, if you keep letting situations, like say you have dreads, right? And say you have dreads and say you know that you haven't retwisted your dreads in like 6 years. Like deep down, you think that like, oh, my dreads look crazy. People probably think that I'm like this wild Tarzan or like whatever, like I'm homeless or whatever, right? If you nurture that thought in your mind, now you're walking down the street, you see people like cross the street when you come, and you're gonna assume that, oh, they cross the street because like they think I'm a crackhead, or they cross the street because they think that like I'm like some hobo or something like that. That's how you're gonna process it, because you view your dreads as like bad to be in this state, to look like that, right? So you're gonna prescribe everything in your environment as reacting to that feeling that you have about yourself, right? And what does that do over time? It can do two things over time. One thing it can do is either you end up shutting down, so you stop going outside, you stop socializing, you stop just even putting yourself in a situation to be vulnerable. So you completely hermit mode, shutters down, Uber Eats, lock yourself in a room on some homebody shit, right? And then that'll provide, a shelter for the moment. You won't have to confront those feelings, but that's just a quick fix. And then you have the other case, which I think is even worse. You have people, they just become bitter at the world. They just become, they don't feel sorry for themselves, but now they just feel angry and empowered. Like, oh, everybody hates me, fuck the world mentality. Now they go outside angry at the world. Now they go outside ready to pick a fight. Now they go outside just on react mode, like ready to go nonstop. Because the way they interpret it, they didn't interpret it as, oh, something wrong with me. They interpret it as, oh, that person's a racist. They interpret it as, oh, that person doesn't like people with dreads. Or they interpret it as that, oh, that person doesn't like Democrats. Or they interpret it as, oh, that person doesn't like Muslims, whatever, right? So it's people like that. They'll interpret the projection as, oh, that person is an op, that person's an enemy, right? These are people, they're really in tune with their dark energy. So they don't interpret it as self-guilt or self-deprecating or like kind of like a depression, like woe be me. They instead direct it outwards. Like it's everybody else's fault. Everybody else is the enemy. Everybody else is an ist, a racist, pessimist, nationalist, all the ists, misogynists, all that, right? So everybody else is an ist and I'm just the king and I'm perfect and I'm flawless. So basically, it's us versus them mentality. And both of those are equally damaging. Both of those are equally damaging. And the thing is, why damage yourself so unnecessarily? Because both of these things, it's not easy, but it's simple. The route to fix these, I don't want to say problems, because I do believe humans, we are perfectly imperfect. We are flawed, but I do believe that we are perfect. We all come here as like a level 0 baby with an umbilical cord and like can't walk, can't see, can't do anything. But after that phase, we have this beautiful experience of being human. Is in this vehicle, you get the chance to be whatever you want to be. You get the opportunity to, be amazing. You get the opportunity to be a race car driver. You get the opportunity to be a doctor. You get the opportunity to be a rock star. But the only case is that you have to put in the work. The world is yours. We live in a time where you can literally do anything you want, but you just have to put in the work. You just have to put in the work mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. The age of, just working really hard, staying diligent, and persevering for 20 years of my life, and then I'll finally be able to retire and reap my rewards. The age of that is dead. It's extinct. Yes, it's still possible, but do you want to see all these people in Hollywood at 70 and 80 in a Bugatti? Like, I want to be in a Bugatti. Well, I'm not a materialistic guy, but if I was, I would want to be in a Bugatti at 30, at 25, like not at 80. But that's what happens when you just work hard but not work smart. When you just work hard but don't organize. When you just work hard but don't learn from your mistakes and readjust your compass so that you're not making the same mistakes. When you don't work hard and stay stubborn, but where you work hard, working hard is important, but you work hard and also stay open to new solutions. Don't get too caught up in a dogma. Don't get too caught up in your ego so that you're too stubborn to learn. All it does is burn you in the long run. Are you a perfectionist? That's important. Do you double check to make sure you're doing it right? All of these things dictate the measure of your success in life. So I don't want to see any more young men falling prey to depression, falling prey to offing themselves, falling prey to becoming misfits or outcasts and then shooting up a school. I don't want to see that anymore, when all we have to do is shift some of that energy inwards. Why am I having this thought? Why do I feel like I'm not enough? Why do I feel like because I'm fat that she didn't talk to me? Maybe there's something I could do about that. Maybe I can learn to love myself, but also find a way to eat healthy and have a healthy lifestyle so I can lose that weight. Say that I look in the mirror, I don't like the way my nose is shaped. Maybe say, instead of saving up to get a nose job, maybe say, I don't have the best nose, but what I do know is that there's people who don't have the best nose who live happy, fruitful, and beautiful lives. So I'm going to study and see what they're doing, and I'm going to model that so that I can also be happy, even though my nose is crooked, even though my nose is too small, even though my nose is too big. Right? It's not because of your flaws. It's in spite of your flaws. You have to put it in the work. Because at the end of the day, no one cares about your happiness. No one cares about your fulfillment as much as you. And if you don't care about it, the world definitely doesn't care about it. So do the work. If you gotta focus on mental health for like a month and stay inside and be a homebody and just decline, popping out, decline, joining that Call of Duty lobby, decline, hopping on TikTok, then do it. If you gotta fall off the face of the earth for 10 days off Instagram and TikTok and social media, and people are hitting you up like, where are you, Timmy? Then do it. At the end of the day, you are all you have. Your mom can believe in you, that's great. Your family can believe in you, that's great. Your friends can believe in you, that's great. But at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, if you aren't fulfilled within yourself, then it's all for nothing. But anywho, I hope this helped. Remember to always, when you feeling down, when you're feeling a certain kind of way, remember to always reflect the light inwards. Look at how you are thinking about yourself in that moment. And then instead of just reacting like, okay, everything is because of this problem about me. And you now shift like, oh, the fact that I think that's a problem, that's where I need to work. And the moment you make that switch, you switch on the lights to a actualized and vibrant life. Anywho, I hope this video helped. As always, stay hydrated, stay breathing in that good ass oxygen, and most importantly, stay basic. I love you.